Shalom, shalom, Israel. Yeah, shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. Yahweh is the Most High God, and Yahushai is who the world innately calls Jesus the Christ. Rakakwadash in the Paleo Hebrew is the Holy Spirit. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders in Great Millstone, who've been ruling well through the Spirit, teaching His word and believing His word to the best of their ability. Lord willing, the Most High continue to put it on their spirit to be sincere and to endure. And the mighty shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered four corners of the earth, teaching this word and believing this word to the best of their ability. Lord willing, the Most High can continue to put it on their hearts to endure. And Lord willing, the Most High have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. Right? We're going back into the basics again. But, this right here can even go deeper than what it is. And this is a lesson for myself too, right? Going into birthright, but really for Esau's birthright. But the definition of birthright is a particular right of possession or privilege one has from birth, especially as an eldest child, right? Which brings in the heritage, a natural or mortal right possessed by everyone, right? So really the birthright is handed down to the eldest child. So now I'm going to read this verse right here first, and then we'll get into it. I'm going to go to First Chronicles, the 15th chapter. The 5th chapter, so like it. The 5th chapter. This is First Chronicles, the 5th chapter, verse 1. It says, "Now the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, the firstborn of Jacob, for he was the firstborn, but for as much as he defiled his father's bed," you can go Genesis 29:32, Genesis 49:3, where they, talk about it, and so on and so on. So Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, for he was the firstborn, but for as much as he defiled his father's bed, because he lay with his father's concubine, his father's wife, his birthright was given unto the sons of Joseph, the sons of Israel, which is Manasseh and Ephraim. And the genealogy is not to be reckoned after the birthright, right? So his birthright was given to Joseph's sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. That's why when you look at their land mass, all praise to the Most High. With this one, you can kind of see it. You can look at the map and see Manasseh, and Ephraim. Right? With all praise to the Most High. Everything is calculated and documented, So now you know what a birthright is, It's the elders. But if you fuck up, it's most likely going to be he sinned. He committed a sin. So it's going to be given to his brother, right? But now let's go to Esau, because a birthright is very important, let alone what Reuben did. In the same fact, he not thinking about his descendants either, because he wanted to, get his rocks off. That just shows that, the women back then they were cold, and he ended up laying with his father's wife, But this is Esau. This is Genesis chapter 25, verse 29 to 34. "And Jacob sought pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with thy same red pottage." It was red because it wasn't done. "For I am faint." Therefore was his name called Edom, which goes into like reddish, Um, and Jacob said, "Sell me this day thy birthright." And this show you how Jake is smart. You know, what else? What is he going to trade? We're not in dollar bills and money. We got cattle, land. So Jacob was like, okay, if you want this is really mine. We gonna make a trade. So he says, sell me this day thy birthright. This is not no trick. A lot of people say, oh, Jacob tricked him. No, he said, sell me your birthright. What does the point of sell? Hey, sell me your car. Hey, sell me your chain. Hey, sell me your cup. Sell me your book bag. Sell me your phone. Verse 32, it says, and Esau said, behold, I am yet at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? So he's saying he at the point of dying. So what shall, basically this birthright profit me if I die? You know, because when we read in this point from 24 down, Esau and Jacob don't got no girl just yet. But when we go further on, we'll understand um, that later on Esau actually gets a wife, right? Because in order to have your birthright be really a full of effect, it's gonna be for you. But then when you die, who's gonna get your lot, your descendants, right? 32 it says, and Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau's bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went away. Thus Esau despised his birthright. You know, Esau despised. He had a dislike for his birthright. You know, and that's a terrible thought, because then it shows um, his nature. He don't even care about his descendant. He don't care about his people. So that's why another point for this lesson is to understand the rulers that be, especially Esau being the top dog. You have to know if your rulers don't care about their own descendants, they don't give a damn about you, right? I'm gonna go to this other precept real quick. Hebrews 12 and 16. You got to really let that sink in. If you don't care about his birthright, and say if you're not of his nation, how much more do you think he care about you? Got to really sit there and really let that hit you. He's not, if he ain't care about his birthright, what make you think he's gonna really care about you? You know, like when you find out, not to like bring up, the diddler, not to try to bring up the diddler, but is multiple people we could bring up, but with the thing, because Diddy's the most thing that's talked about, right? Outside of whatever he was doing, but to really talk about something serious. We know that Kanye West spoke loudly about the small hats, and he's still mocking them with the girl that he's with. Now, a lot of us might not know. At first, I did not know until the research came across. Diddy said something to a liquor company, and it's a small hat investment, a small hat business. He was going against them or something. Something happened, and then let alone with the allegations that happened, now his business with a certain liquor company that's even with the other liquor company that he was going against, they have almost the same friends that are in high places, which if we understand, the small hats rule everything that you use, especially whatever is the top selling thing, small hats have their hands on it. Really, the Rothschilds, the Morgans, the ones that control the bank, they're a lot of their money. Damn, I had the video, but I didn't screen record it on my other phone. But it showed you that Venmark, BlackRock, which small hats is owning that too, but to make it a secret thing, it's other high elite small hats that got their name in that type of business. So that mostly the number one things that we buy are invested by Vanguard and BlackRock, and they invest in food, oil, gas, clothing, cotton, materials. Um, it's a lot of things that we use that their hand is in every market, you know. So you have to understand, if Esau didn't care, he despised his birthright. He don't even care about his own people. So if he don't care about his own people, you have to think how much more he care about other people. And I know it is some Edomites out here that got a different vibe. And then you got some Edomites that really could be a Jake. But we're talking about the higher elites. Because then eventually when shit really hit the fan, a real Edomite is going to be a real Edomite and turn into a madman. Right now, we're kumbaya right now. But you have to understand, if the scriptures are saying he despised his birthright, we're not looking at the little Edomites at the corner store, the ones working a 9 to 5. They're low. If an Edomite working a 9 to 5, they're very low. We're looking at the high up, the hierarchy. Because when you come into this truth, you're not looking at the one that got the most camp. Because Yahushua had few. When you look at Jeremiah, he was few. Each apostle and prophet that came, they were in their lot. Then you got the 400 prophets that changed over and start worshiping Bala. Bala, however you want to say it. They stopped worshiping Yahweh Shem Shai. But when it came to the elect true teachers, it was only a few, So the true teachers is against the top elite. We're poor. The real true teachers, they're low in spirit. We work in these jobs, Our congregation is not like the ones that's trying to be shown as the best or better than this. We just trying to be. We're going to be known by the fruits of the spirit of teaching and how we move. And this is why when you look at Genesis, the 25th chapter, you have to look at these two men as the two main characters on the earth. The head of the left-hand side is Esau, son of perdition, and the head of the right-hand side is the righteous of Jacob, But Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16, it says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Right? This man is a profane person. Right? The man sold his birthright. A lot of people, just like the dude that was at camp yesterday, a lot of people think that they know it all. But one of the greatest things that happened in history is the being Hellenized, right? And so when we're in a society where, so like you always gotta mark something. Hellenized was the biggest thing when people are left away from their religion and you cleave to a certain culture. And you have to know that Hellenization got us where we at right now, because everybody is not really in their lot. We're all cleaving to this world America ideology, right? But of course, a lot of us still hold on to this belief and that belief, Salaki, I'm trying to see if I can get this other preset. Wait, I'm gonna just bring this up just because this is how you know through the spirit is no the fruits of the spirit don't dwell in Esau, right? That's another reason why you'll see somebody that looked like an Edomite, but he got some type of soul in him, right? Because through the spirit, he most likely could be an Israelite, But let me just read this. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 13. Meat's for the belly, and the belly for meat. But the Most High shall destroy both it and them. Now the body is not for fornication, but for Yahweh Shem El Shai. The Lord is for the body, right? The fornication goes into idolatry, right? Or you could say idolatry, other beliefs, you know, not being sober on one thing for Yahweh Shem El Shai. Some people would look like the body is not for sex, but when a man has a wife, the Lord said the bed is undefiled. That's a good thing. So this fornication is going to adultery, which is the spiritual form of idolatry. Because Israel, when you go into another belief, you committed adultery, right? But you have to know meat is for the belly. Matthew 4:4. We don't really live by bread alone, but we live by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yahweh Shem Shai. And for Esau, you know, us as Israel, it even comes for like when you do a day in atonement, when you fasting, or you just fasting just because you want to afflict yourself. He felt like he was dying. He could have kept his butt walking home. He would have got some food. He was just hungry. He just wanted something. You ain't about to go die. You can drink water and still be living. But that story had to take place because the fruits of the spirit is not in Esau. But let's keep reading. It says, and the Most High have both raised up the Lord and will also raise up us by his own power. Know ye not that your bodies are the members of Hamashiach? It's another form of, he sold his birthright. Esau is not part of Hamashiach Yahushai. You have to understand the real history of, like, you got to understand the spirit, So when the Lord made Cain and Abel, they were symbolic to the righteous seed and the wicked seed. Cain killed his brother because one great sin is if you hate your brother, you are considered a murderer. But Esau actually made that an actual physical action. He hated his brother. Then the Lord put that mark on him, what made him look like a leaper. His descendants died off, but then it came again as that leaper became an actual nation, which is Esau. But the Lord seen Jake's history. He's seen our history, because without us being created, the Lord had to know how far we would go away from him. So the Lord had to create. Everybody has a purpose. So right, 39 and 21. So he created Esau as a purpose to be against us. And the same spirit happened again. This is why it was put on Jacob to say, hey, sell me your birthright. We not going by birthright now. Oh, this is my firstborn. They get this. We don't move like how we used to back then. I don't know a lot of people that be like, hey, this is the firstborn. They get this house. Sometimes I think we still do that, but most of us is not. When you talking about writing a will, so when I die, I wrote a will that this and this. This is not no power. Everybody don't do that. But back then, this is how we were really going. Esau's the firstborn. So if you really look at the kingdom, you look at this word, you look at this ministry, this was supposed to be Esau because he is the firstborn. But it was predestined that the election will obtain it. Esau was blinded because he was not the chosen seed. Ooh, that hit me. That just hit me. Because if Esau is the oldest, I'm going to go back to this. If Esau is the oldest, dang, what I was going to say. If Esau is the oldest, oh yeah, if Esau is the oldest, this is his birthright. This is Romans 11 and 7. What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. Esau didn't have the fruits of the spirit. He didn't have the spirit of Hamashiach Yahushai. It wasn't for him. Let alone when we look at Yahushai, Yahushai was an Israelite that died for Israel. So it had to happen for Esau to sell his birthright so that Israel can get so our part, will actually be fulfilled for Yahushua. Now it'd have been different if we was the firstborn, but the Lord did that for a certain reason, you know. But let's keep going. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 15. Know ye not that your bodies are the members of Hamashiach? Shall I then take the members of Hamashiach and make them the members of a harlot? God forbid. What know ye not that he which is joined to a harlot is one body? For two, says he, shall be one flesh, but he that is joined unto Yahweh Shemashai is one spirit, right? And Esau is not born to Yahweh Shemashai. Esau can't be one spirit with him. This is why the Lord put it on him to sell his birthright. He's the most profane in the earth. And if we keep going on Esau's attribute, let alone his body is wasted away. He's unclean. You know, when you read the book of Babylon to Timbuktu, you'll understand that when you were a leper, when you had to go into a facility, into a place, you had to say, unclean, unclean, right? And we know in Leviticus, the 13th chapter, verse 30, you know, if you had leprosy, you had to be removed from the congregation. And Esau, the more he grew, you know, he kept changing, you know, his nation, and then they continue to grow as lepers. So how would he be the chosen? How would this law be for him? And he always had to be away from the congregation. Let alone he didn't do circumcision. You know, if you was under Abraham's tent, yes, you had to. But then what did he do? He even walked away from his father and lay with heathens. You know, the Lord is very precise, but you have to really know Esau was supposed to get all of this because he was the firstborn. We just read it. 1 Chronicles, the 15th chapter, verse 1. The firstborn gets everything. But what did Reuben do? He laid with his father's wife. And and the Lord gave it to Ephraim and Manasseh, Joseph's sons. Right? The firstborn gets a call on damn near everything. Yahushai is the firstborn of the Most High's creation. He has the lot of everything. Look, he's the first one to rise up again into his glory. He's on the right hand side of the Most High. You know, he is the power and the wisdom of the Most High. He is the image of the visible Yahweh Shemashai. And the Lord is giving him this domain to rule. When he comes back, he's going to rule on earth forever and ever. And he's playing the same role as the Most High. And he created everything that Yahweh wanted him to create. And he created everything for Yahweh, but he created everything for his liking. You know? That's amazing, man. It's amazing. Yahushua chose us, and Esau really is the firstborn. But this man is so profane, he couldn't even be that chosen. So the Lord put him in this way, in that predicament, to really be your ass whooping. Right? Because what was his blessing? The sword. And with that sword, he was gonna take charge. He was gonna be over you. He was gonna tell you what you can and what you can't do, what you can't eat and what you can't eat. You know, just like my brother Shem Yawala said, when the world go to war, they can make you pay for their weapons and their food. If they can say that it's a shortage on food because they gotta feed the army. You know, us as taxpayers, I haven't rode on that Baltimore bridge. They're gonna say taxpayers. They didn't just say taxpayers of Baltimore. They said taxpayers are gonna pay for this bridge. They might could have said that for the Niagara Falls. Taxpayers. I didn't sign up for that. So they'll take that out of your check. We pay the cops. When has the cops did anything for me? Shouldn't y'all ask? Because when you go to work, they'll ask you how many do you want to take taxes out or do you want to be taxes in? Help me to help you understand that. They don't even ask for permission for the other things that they take out your check. You are in slavery, man. You are in slavery, man. So it's no profane person more than Esau.
And this is why got another one I want to go to. Because even for their own nation, how the Lord say you shouldn't trust the wicked. When you go to Sirach, the 12th chapter, it's very plain, man. This is Sirach, Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thy enemy, for like iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So now if we know that this man is going to sell up his birthright, and that's for him and his descendants, if you get the calculation and understand it, because I know he knew, because then later on he told his father that he tricked me and took my birthright. Then this man lied to his father and said that his brother tricked him. He sold his birthright. So we can't trust a man that reneged on what he did, let alone he sell his birthright. It shows he don't care for his descendants. So much more, it shows that this mother sucker ain't gonna care about me. This man, when you go to Genesis 27, verse 41 to 46, Esau he plans his revenge against his brother. You know, this man is wicked. I want to find when Esau, yep, Jacob. Okay, here we go. This is Genesis 27, verse 30. And it came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, a deer, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, Who? Where is he that have taken venison, and brought it me, and have eaten of all before you camest, and have blessed him? Yeah, he shall be blessed. Right? And that blessing is what, the elect, the true elect is waiting for on this side. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his fathers, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came subtly, and have taken away thy blessing. And through the spirit, this is why Esau has the spirit that he has. He wants total domination. He wants total control. He wants to control what everybody doing, is because that spirit is on him, because he knows that his brother through the spirit is going to get that blessing. Now, a lot of y'all might think that the elite don't know who they is. But when you look at Ecclesiastes, I think the fourth chapter, or is the third chapter, no, the fourth chapter, is no done away with all the nations of old. So the spirit, if we're coming back to our knowledge, because he says, in the land of your captivities, you shall remember who you are. If they're the elite and they took all the secret writings and drawings, you think that they don't have these articles, or these scriptures, and understand? You think that their fathers didn't give them the blueprint? We the Lord got us on this side doing what we doing. You don't think Esau don't know? They burned our writings. Moses, Ezra had to rewrite them. Jeremiah's writings. You don't think that they know these things? You know. So if we know that who we is now, the elite know who they are. And this is why they want total world domination. They want total control, because that spirit is on them. If especially if the scriptures say the son of perdition is going to be revealed, if they're going to be revealed to us, and then everybody's going to know who they are, don't you think that they already know who they are? Especially if they're hiding it. Then Putin saying, hey, here go the pictures that the small hats hid from the world. That shows you that the elites know who they are. It's just these small Edomites, these niggas in my job. They don't know who they is. I'm Polish. I'm Irish. I get it, man. You don't know. But the top dogs that's playing around for the as a devil's advocate like Putin and them, yes, they're low rank. They know something. But the top dogs that's gambling over these wars, that's making different vaccines and all this other stuff, yes, I said it, they know who they are. And they're upset that the Lord has given the children of Israel this blessing. It was given to us because your dumb ass sold it. But through the Spirit, it was never for him. Because we see in Romans 11, the election have obtained it. The election have obtained it because the Lord caused Esau to sell his birthright. Because he's profane. And the Lord created him for that purpose. Sirach 39 verse 21. Go read it for yourself. All creations has a purpose. His purpose was to sell his birthright. His purpose was to be a whooping so he could get his other blessing, the sword. Because if he would have got the blessing of the kingdom, his blessing would have never been the sword. That blessing would have been given to Jake to have the sword. But Jake was already called from Abraham, Isaac to Jacob to get the kingdom. Wow, you don't understand. The basics is deep. Woo! Let's get back to it. Genesis 27 verse 35. And he said, thy brother came with subtlety. He kind of was clever, but he wasn't. But yet he was, because he thought smart. Oh yeah, that birthright is important. Hey, sell me your birthright and have taken away thy blessing. No, he did, because you sold this birthright. Esau was supposed to say, yo, father, if I go get this Venice, I'm going to come make it for you, but I got to give Jacob because I sold him my birthright. So you should go bless him first. But Esau is so profane. And we just read in Sirach, Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, never trust thy enemy. We can't trust that Esau is going to be like, yo, father, I sold my birthright to Jacob, so you got to give it to him. And we just seen in scriptures, he didn't do that, right? So 36, and it says, and he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he have supplanted me those 2 times. He took away my birthright. No, he didn't. We never trust our enemy. Psalms tell you that his words are smooth as butter. His dad is not saying, are you sure, like he did Jacob? Are you sure this is my son Esau? Come closer to me. He not asking Esau, are you sure that you didn't do nothing, you didn't sell anything, you didn't say anything? He just over here just telling him, this man took away my birthright. No, Esau, you sold it. And he, behold, now he have taken away my blessing. No, he didn't take it away. It was given to him because you sold it. This man is Jim Carrey off the movie Liar, Liar, Pants on Fire, right? And I know it's some congregations that think, or some Israelites out here saying, uh, uh, Jake is crafty. No, I mean, yeah, if we want to say he's slick, like he's smart, that's actually being smart. If we gonna make a trade, I'm gonna try to get the best thing. You want food, I want something worth this pottage. This really is mine. This is what I was making me. So let me actually get a good trade. You know what? I'll give you this, give me a birthright. That's a good trade. That's actually smart. So yes, hell yeah, he clever. But he didn't do nothing wicked. He thought smart because he was making a trade. Idiots. Right? But for edification, the Lord put that on Jacob and Esau's spirit. Esau wanted to, hey, let me get some of that pottage. That was on him. And then the Lord put on Jacob, asked for the birthright. And he did that. Very plain. Right? So verse 37, and Isaac answered and said, Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do unto thee, my son? So this is how you know the children of Isaac, which goes all the way to Jacob, the children of Jacob, we are going to rule the nation. But he said we're going to be the Lord of Esau. When you look at Esau, Esau is the head of all nations right now. So soon as Jake get into power, starting with Mashiach Yahushai, soon as Yahushai comes back and he takes over Esau, that is the attribute of the hill. Soon as we're over, soon as the destruction of Esau, his rulership, we're going to be lords over all nations. Because if Esau's in power, he is the head of all nations. Until we become the head of Esau, we are the head of nations. Esau is the biggest nation to take down, like as in power wise, right? Soon as we take him down, we are going to be the Lord. Let me read it again for the ones that might not understand. And he said, verse 36, and he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he have supplanted these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and he uphold. Now he have taken away my blessing, and he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? Right? He is your Lord. We're not his Lord yet because we're low, but we're ushering that in. The more we come back to the Lord, ushering Hamashiach Yahushai, keep, wait for the elect. Yahushai going to save his elect men and the women, and those elect men are going to be in their lot. And then when he sends us back down, it's over for Esau. And all nations is going to yield to us, starting with Hamashiach Yahushai. And that's another reason why brothers say women have to know the men that they're under, especially if a woman is married. Ain't no talking back, ain't no lefty switchy. Like, you're serving a man that's about to be a lord over nations. Let that click in. This is not no regular man. Like, a man's supposed to have faith when he leave his house. When a man say certain things, it humbles you to be like, damn, he did say this to me. Like, me talking back and forth to this man ain't nothing. Me saying something slick, it has no value. You really talking to a Lord. Yes, because we're low right now. Oh yeah, you ain't no Lord yet unless you make it in the kingdom. Don't you? We're penalized on what we say and how we think in our heart. I'm penalized on if I'm teaching wrong. I have to move in a certain attribute. I'm not putting no woman in my house and out my house over any of my brothers or over me at all, ever, never. And if I do that, I'm folding. And that's how I feel. Because the Lord, when I look in scriptures, the Lord is talking to men. The first thing, when I start fearing Yahweh Shema Shai, when I start believing in him, when I start believing in these prophecies and I start seeing it, the highest respect I have is a man, especially when it comes to order. Then it's your woman that nourish your household, comfort your household, and build your household. But you respect her as a woman. Because you just read the book of Esther. This man separated from this woman for 30 days or however minutes that he wanted to. And he had the power to say, look, if I want to see you or if I don't. She got so nervous because she didn't know. She was thinking she was going to get divorced or let go. So she tried to do certain things, prayed and fasted, and then just asked him, look, can I have a banquet? Because I got to talk to you, man. It's been a minute, da-da-da-da-da. But back then, a woman had to be granted to see her husband. You know, we in this captivity where a man is more weakened. You know, so we have to understand. Right now, we talking about a birthright, which was initially Esau's because he was the firstborn. But he's so profane, he sold his birthright. So for whoever the elect is, that the election was called unto you to be in his truth and not to be blinded. And say if you do have a household, we are in real true times. And that sister, out of a lot of sisters that's not selected in this thing, you are a lucky person to have a man of the Lord in your household who you have to look at, which it says that I have made him thy Lord. This is Jacob. And Jacob is the head of the patriarchs who are the sons. And then we are the descendants of those sons. Just like Yahushai. But Yahushua is the head of us all. So starting with the men, they are going to be lords over all nations. So an Israelite woman is a possession to a lord on this side, And imagine when the Lord saves us on the other side, she's going to understand that she was really a wife to a God, a wife to a Lord, a wife to a priest, a wife to a king, because the Lord said we're going to be priests and kings, and the women are princesses. The men of the Lord are in a different league than any man or any woman on this earth, and it feels good to tap back into that knowledge, because I know nobody at this job, like my brother Yarmayan, just know who you is in the N word. I don't have to showboat and stab people with these scriptures, because nobody at this job understands nothing, you know. And for my household, I just got to put the fear of the Lord in myself, order my household, and I'm going to move how I'm going to move. I'm going to order how I want to move. I'm going to say what I desire and what I don't desire, because I'm moving the way that Yahweh Shema Shai told me to move and what is acceptable, right? So now that we know who we is, we know who our enemies is, we have to be set apart from them. I love what the Lord has given me. We had to go through some obstacles, but now when you go in this truth, your faith has to rise higher. What Shem Yawala did the other night, he took his correction from the brother, in Great Millstone. But it was nothing too big. I'm looking at that as motivation, because brothers has grown. We don't want to be in a state of always feeling like we're right. The brother said something last night where his wife was like, "Oh, I want to do Passover with you. I want to do Passover with you." And he said, "Yo, this is serious, man. This is a serious matter, man. This is not no play." And he didn't let her do it. And me and your man was like, "Man, our family been doing it all the time. We did it with him, and then we separated it with the men." And that man, he's like, "Man, that's cool. Let them keep doing the Passover. But we got to know that it's about the men. Because soon as you move from them sisters, are they going to still be in the spirit? Is they going to be talking about the Lord? No, they not. Let alone they're going to allow the kids just to run and do whatever. It's going to be hard to maintain them kids. So then they're going to get annoyed. They're going to let them kids run. I'm telling you, these high holy days is not for the women. They don't got the spirit to go and build, sharpen brothers, correct brothers. You got some women that want to correct their husband. You going off. A man can be a bug out if he want to. You just got to be the light. On some real stuff, the Lord is dealing with men. So if the Lord let a man be a bug out, the Lord made him do that. But if the Lord got a man on fire for the Lord, just like how this man was on fire, he just said, "Man, if she's not walking the distance I want to walk, I will cut her off." How this man just said this, he said, "This is my wife. This is my girl. But if she's not walking the way I want her to, or she's not showing that she got faith in this thing, I will cut her off." Because I'm serious about this, man. I'm not afraid about losing nobody. But to fall in the hands of the Lord is a terrible thing. But to fall in the hands of the Lord in the righteous way is a good thing. So Esau is going to fall in the hands of the Lord in a terrible way for a righteous matter. The 2/3 are going to fall in the hand of the Lord for a righteous matter, but it's terrible for them. This is why you want to make sure you teach it correctly and you lead it correctly. And when I heard that, this is how I know this is about the men, man. When you get yourself in order and you try to build the tabernacle starting with the men and you move correctly, your women automatically, how he was describing, it's the shiver. She started to really, when she's seeing these eclipses, seeing certain things, she started to move in order automatically, knowing this is what he like. You know what? Let me get out the way on this. Let me not nip him in this. How he was describing how his house is. This girl is scared. Let alone if I walk out, it's over for her. And how he was describing, for her to seem the fact of losing him is losing a ticket for the kid. Like, because the men of the Lord got the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And when you got that man right there to get that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and you leave, she's not going to know who to watch and what to do. Because even if she do know what to watch and what to do, you got to think about people breaking into your house. Because after the famine of the word come, how you going to handle somebody breaking into your house? Yes, you're going to pray and repent, but now you're going to only know about the prophecies that a man has said. And the Lord might put on your notion to go look for another man of the Lord, because now your husband left you. Your husband, like Elder Tahar, he said, the spirit is going to be on these women that look for the men of the Lord. If your man left you in this truth and he left you, the spirit going to be on you to look for another man of the Lord. If you didn't fit the criteria of a man now, it's either you out this truth or the spirit going to have you, I don't know. This truth is real. That's why the spirit was on Esau to sell his birthright. You know? So be thankful that you in this truth and play your role correctly. No, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, a lot of women don't know who they dealing with, and a lot of men don't know who they serving. I'm not about to say what women they dealing with, because a real man is gonna know if he has a loving, silent woman. He's gonna know if he got a woman that's talking back. He's gonna know if he got a lazy. A lot of Jake women got problems. A lot of Jake nigga got problems too. You know. But one thing you could separate from certain men that's in this truth is men that hold himself accountable, and a man that can go straight in the scriptures on anything he does wickedly or by a mistake or anything he does righteously. A lot of women can't go to that. You know, a woman most likely should only pay attention to what she's doing as a wife and as a mother. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to this teaching and really getting me, you're not in that level, you know? And at the end of the day, this is why the Lord never suffered a woman. You see what Jacob and Esau had to go through. You see what Cain and Abel had to go through. Then you see what Eve went through. Eve got knowledge from another man when she's already dicked down by a whole nother man. I'm telling you. If we wasn't even with the women that we was with right now, most cases our wives would have been dicked down by a whole nother man. Because most of our women is already defiled. Just like what Reuben did, he laid with his father's wife. And what do we see? We just hear him. What did she fight? No, he took that and she take that. He took it and she was taking it. Y'all gotta really sit there and know this man really slayed his father's wife. She was looking probably delicious to him. He couldn't have discipline. And she was taking it, man. And look where we at now, where our women is defiled because of we have sinned. We did it over generation to generation. And for us as men are defiled because of our belief. We're not defiled by the women that we lay with, because men can have as many as they want. But the Lord put you in this truth and gave you a wife, and she laid with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we talking about right now. 2024, however many she had now, and then think about the last captivity, the last captivity, the last captivity, the last. If she laid with more than 4, more than 5, let's subtract that and call it 50. Because she laid with more before time, before that time, before that time, and before that time. Oh my goodness, Yahweh Shema Shai is amazing. Reincarnation is real. So all praise to the Most High for allowing us to understand. Wait, hold on. Before I leave, let me bring this out because we was going over Esau. So now that we know that birthright is a very important thing for right now. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 16. It says, there is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this is vanity and vexation of the spirit. So it's no end of all the people, all the nations that came through Japheth, Shem, and Ham. All those people are still on the earth. So you have to know how much real these scriptures is. When you say that you a Hebrew Israelite or you walking as a Hebrew Israelite, it's for you to start walking how your righteous foremothers and forefathers was walking. This shit is not no play. Let alone you still trying to do the best that you can, because it still is hard. But when it comes to things that you do in your house, you better be trying your best. Trying your best. You know? It's just saying, no, man. Back then, none of our women was ever talking back, talking slick to none of their husbands. No woman was fighting their husbands. Brothers, we wasn't, especially if we were serious for the Lord, we wasn't playing. We wasn't trying to make money off of this thing. This shit is real serious. And that's amazing to know that the Lord didn't be done away with none of these nations. And it makes understanding the Bible even easier, because if you didn't have no faith, you wouldn't believe that the nations is still on this earth. But when he show you scriptures like that, it's like, damn. And then it's actually real. Then it lets you know that how our women was acting back then. Oh yeah, we need that now. Because when you come in this truth, it's not bringing that worldly vibe. You bring in the same vibe how it said Sarah obeyed Abraham. She wasn't, you don't see her unless the Lord shows it, but it says she'd obeyed Abraham. She wasn't talking back or being slick. Now, some people might say, hey, she said, Abraham, get that girl out of here. That's not her being slick. She didn't want Hagar and her descendant to share the heir of Isaac. Make it make sense. She wasn't talking smart or slick. And what the Lord tell him? Abraham, listen to your wife. You know, because Abraham could have really cussed her ass out. Wait, what you mean? That's my descendant. But she was right through the spirit. Because if he grows near the heir, you never know. It might be a whole fight. That's why you think Esau and Esau and Jacob had to split. They had two different lands, two different possessions. Because if they would have grew together, it would have been just like Lot and Abraham. They were too wealthy. You know, the Lord deals with order and decency. And that's why the more a man is upholding himself in Yahweh Shema Shai, the more he become a man, the more he become a soldier. The same as a woman. You know, the more she become a woman, uh, the things that women do now on this side, women was not doing back then. Unless you touched another man or unless you dabble in other beliefs. Women was not talking back to a man. Back then, women were asking permit. Hey, can I ask you something? Hey, my Lord, if is it okay if I can put lotion? Hey, Lord, can? And they were asking. Like a lot of people don't know like history. Women was always covered up in the house, out the house, dressed all the time. Women were shamefaced all the time. Now when there was their man, oh they were a loose goose. Now if he was in a different vibration, he didn't want nothing. That woman was more, oh, unless my Lord wants me. Unless my Lord want me, I'm not gonna bother him. Women was in a different vibration. And then if a man didn't feel a certain vibe with you at that moment, he would deal with another. The sister will humble. You know what? This is my king. She would make sure her house was in, like, these scriptures is real. What we just talked about, Esau giving his birthright, this is real. Him being a man is real. The MOTB is real. Visions of the end of this was real. Eclipse we're about to see is real. New moon, blood moon, you see it, it's real. Chariots, real. LGBT community, real. Back then, you seen a full-blown diesel man. Now, he can cut his chest and make titties. Cut off his winky. This shit is real. Man, I love y'all. I gotta go to work. Sorry. Lord willing to sit in. You go read about Esau again. Lord willing to hit you. With that, shalom, shalom.